J Nell here with my UFC Fight Night 24 and my Triller recap video. And yeah, I'm late and I apologize for being late. I'm very frustrated right now at the fact that I'm this late because I wasn't late. Now, those of you who've actually watched my videos for all of these years, first off, thank you. And I really appreciate that. Back then, I actually did have aspirations of like getting into sports commentary for real. It was easier back then. I'll admit, I just had to make videos. I was pretty consistent. I just made videos, and then like more and more people started watching them, and then you know, they started getting put on betting sites, and I got a couple put on TYT, and it just kind of started happening. And then I ended up going through some bad luck, and I was homeless for about 2 years. And of course that took me pretty much offline, except for videos here and there. And then ever since then, it's just been a journey of basically getting back on your feet, getting back to normal. And one of the biggest things that I missed was really the engagement. I haven't even gotten to the point of having aspirations again. But one of the biggest things, like I said, was the engagement. And I have to admit, the more people you have to talk to, the better it is, the more fun it is, the more perspectives you have, the more information, because everybody always has different information. There's always someone who knows more than you. So it's just fun. And it's also fun because I am like the only combat sports fan that I know personally that's real close to me, especially as far as the combat sports fan who has the level of knowledge that I have. I have plenty of friends and things who will watch the fights and all of that, but they're not going to talk about it in detail, or they're going to check out, and they're not going to watch the prelims, and they're not going to watch anything but the main event, that sort of thing. So if you're like me and you don't have anybody to talk to, talk to about something that you love so much, and that sucks, you know. So I got a couple of cousins and things, but they don't live in my same city or in my same state. So, you know, you call them and you can talk as much as you can when you can, but it's just not the same thing. And so this was a really great outlet for that. It was really therapeutic for that. It was really fun for that, just to be able to engage with people who have your level of excitement and love, and will go back and forth with you on this. And so yeah, I missed that. I would like to expand. I am not just doing this to hear myself talk, even though it probably seems that way by how it seems like I just don't care when things come out. Because a good way to expand your group is to be on it when it comes to big events. And whether we like it or not, this past Triller was a huge event. And so I was really excited about this, really excited to get in on the action when it was new, because, you know, news cycles are so short now. 48 hours and it's old news. It's like when something happens over the weekend and you come back to work on Tuesday instead of Monday. And you come back and you want to talk about it, but all your coworkers are basically talked out. And they'll humor you a little bit until you realize, yeah, nobody really, they're over it. And so you stop talking about it. And that's just how I feel now. And it's one of those things like, why even do this? But it's like, it's one of the biggest events of the year. And if I do still care about this, it's like, yeah, I do want to have my 2 cents out there on one of the biggest events of the year, and that is just true. But I gotta tell you, I am frustrated with myself on this one, because I got my video out on time yesterday, early in the daytime, like this time, except for I got a new phone yesterday, and transferring all my information to the new phone, I thought I had uploaded the video, that I went about my business, went downtown, all that kind of stuff, came back around like 8, 9ish to realize the video was still processing. And I was like, oh. And so then I tried to re-upload it and do all these things until I realized, no, something was wrong with the way the information transferred from one phone to the other. So I had to go online and Google how to get rid of the screen time passcode, which I never even set. Had to get that off, had to erase everything off the phone, redo the process over again to transfer the information from the old phone to the new phone. By the time that was done, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was over it. And so I woke up today thinking I would be fresh and you know, until I just spent the last couple of hours doing the video, only to realize I wasn't recording on the new phone. So yeah, I realized that I still care. And I guess there is something in me that still wants to try to do this, at least I don't think I've given up on that yet, despite everything that I have gone through, which one day I will talk about in more detail. But yeah, I'm really disappointed, really frustrated that I didn't check the phone earlier to make sure the video had uploaded. And then maybe I could have called this earlier and then figured all this out earlier. Maybe, you know, at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight, I could have done the video again. But either way, it didn't happen. And if any of y'all are watching this now, today, 2 days later, old news, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. So, having said all of that, let's go ahead and get into this video. I made 7 picks. That's the other reason why I want to talk about it. Last minute, you have to follow me everywhere to get those picks. I made it on Twitter and Instagram. And I got 6 out of 7 picks. Great night for me. I really was. The video yesterday, phenomenal. Energy was high. It was a great, fun video. And it wasn't even that long. So this one is something else. Let's go ahead. Made 2 picks on the Triller event. The first one, I chose MMA legend Frank Mir to lose his boxing debut against former cruiserweight champion, I believe heavyweight champion as well, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve Cunningham. This went all 6 rounds. Frank pretty much impressed everybody for even making it the whole 6 rounds. He even probably won round 4. He ate a lot of shots. I don't think there was a knockdown at one point. I would say check out the post interview for Frank Mir. He's just really interesting. He gives a lot of interesting commentary on the difficulty he had making the transition from MMA to boxing. So check out the interview. It's actually it's a really good interview. Steve Cunningham, who I believe is like 44, 45 years old, said he's willing to do this, especially because, you know, Triller is not traditional boxing. It's not the same rules. So he said he's open to having more fights. So I guess we're doing this. Who would you like to see Steve Cunningham fight next? So next up, main event, and this is the one pick that I did not get yesterday. I almost feel like saying, hold on, let me make sure I'm filming. That's what I'm going to do, because something in me is telling me that I'm not filming again. Oh, I am. Okay, come back. That's the kind of day this is. It's the kind of day it is. Okay, let's get into this. I did not pick Jake Paul to beat Ben Askren, and he did. This ended in about 30 seconds. There was some filling out period. Ben did throw some shots. Jake Paul landed some body shots, and then he landed a 1-2 combination, a left and then that overhand right that he loved so much, which knocked Ben Askren down. Ben Askren actually popped right back up, said he was okay to the referee several times. The referee said take some steps forward. He did, and then the ref called it off. Now, I disagree. I think everyone thinks it was stopped early. Even Logan Paul, his brother, said it was stopped early. Not to say that he still wouldn't have lost the fight. I do definitely think he still would have lost the fight in that first round, but it was an early stoppage. So let me know what you thought about that. Let's talk about this fallout now, because that's kind of been the fun about this. This is what I wanted to get in on. He's kind of called out everyone and no one at the same time. Afterwards, he was a little bit emotional. He dedicated this fight to his former bodyguard, Shadow, who unfortunately passed away. So he did get emotional there. He said he doesn't know what he wants to do next. He's living a dream. And I kind of agree with that, because essentially we are watching his amateur career. That's how I think of Jake, as an amateur boxer. So Stephen A. Smith, I don't know what you were talking about with he's a professional now. No, he's not. So, but I will say he's got real trainers, real coaches, like real nutritionists, real training partners, a real facility, real equipment, and he is a real athlete. I believe him and his brother were like D1 college athletes or D2. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that one. He's a real athlete. So at this point, if you're going to sign on to fight him, it's going to be a real fight. That's how I'll put it. So who he should fight next. Someone said there's a billionaire out there who he should fight. Someone let me know who that is. Who's this billionaire who's in shape that might be able to fight Jake Paul? He called out Nate Diaz. I don't think he responded. Someone said he should fight Mike Perry. Dustin Poirier said he should fight Mike Perry. He put out a video of Mike Perry saying he kicked his butt in training. Mike Perry had to come out in a video saying, hey, bro, you know I was just pumping you up. I was training with the famous guy. You want to make them feel good. And I was like, hey, bro, you kicked my butt, but you know you didn't kick my butt. There was an altercation between Tyron Woodley, who was for some reason back there with Paul's crew and all, and got into a verbal exchange with someone by the last name of Love, one of the actual boxers who's a part of his crew. DC had his little comments on that, thought it was disrespectful the way they treated Tyron Woodley, who is about that life. He was in there, like I said, by himself for some reason. And so then Jake Paul was like, DC, I'll fight you while Love can fight T Wood. None of that's gonna happen. Yeah. So again, just tons of fallout. Darren Till is chastising the MMA community, talking about, why are y'all so upset? I love the drama. I love the fact that he beat Nate Robinson, and then the NBA world went crazy. He beats Ben Askren, the NBA world went crazy. He beats Ben Askren, and now the MMA world is going crazy. I love the drama. So again, who would you like to see Jake Paul fight next? If you could be an amateur and make this kind of money while expanding your name in this way, I mean, would you not do it like this, right? So if I'm Jake Paul, I stay amateur as long as possible. If he's even going to go pro, someone let me know if that's his eventual goal or not. It's been about 4 or 5 years now that he's actually been training seemingly for real. One real quick, I want to talk about the commentary team, which was super loose, even more lax than it was last time. And like I said, I like the more lax commentary team, but you don't want to be so lax that you take away from the event. This team was a little bit too lax. It took away from the event. We had Mario Lopez, Oscar De La Hoya, Pete Davidson, and 2 other people whose name escapes me right now. I'm so sorry. I don't want to make any speculations because we know that Oscar De La Hoya used to ride the white horse. I'm not saying he was riding that white horse on Saturday, but he was on one. He was on one. It was entertaining, but again, did take away a little bit from the show. And Mario Lopez was right there behind him. So again, I don't know if they was on the white horse or what, or just the liquor or what it was, or just that natural high, right? But they was definitely on one. So let me know what you thought about the commentary team. Also, I will say I do like them incorporating musical acts all throughout the entire Triller event. You had, even if I liked the acts or not, I liked Saweetie had about a 20-minute performance. She did multiple songs. E40, the legend E40, did 2 songs himself. I believe it was Justin Bieber who did some songs, and they actually incorporated these performances throughout the night. I don't know if we should have as many, but I did like that. Snoop Dogg, of course, being a major owner, I did like that. So let me know what you thought about the musical performances, the commentary team, the main event, all the fallout, who he should fight next. There's 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. So whether you like it or not, I think Triller is here to stay and will be an addition to the big combat sports world and entertainment. If we're going to go ahead and add in wrestling, pro wrestling, right? So it's here to stay. Let me know what you think of. Oh, Oscar De La Hoya is supposed to be fighting, coming out of retirement in July. And Frank Mir was supposed to fight Antonio Tarver. Instead it was a late replacement. Who do you think Oscar De La Hoya should fight in July? Triller! All right, now let's go ahead to UFC Fight Night 24. I got this entire event right. So again, you have to follow me everywhere because I do really good on my last minute picks every time. I got this entire event correct, so let's go ahead and just talk about it. First up, we saw Luis Pena get the split decision victory over Alexander Munoz. And actually, I didn't think I was going to get this one real time, but I did. First round went to Munoz. He was able to get some takedowns, was first, landed more shots. The second round was the closest, and quite frankly, he did better on stats, but we know stats aren't everything. It's about placement, what did you land, momentum, all of that, octagon control, all of that. Third round, clearly Pena, he landed more shots, actually got going. He himself said with the 10-month layoff that he took a while to get going, so he was pot shotting, and then he started with the combinations and really clearly won that round 3. Who do you think won? Do you think she went the other way, and why? But I did get the pick of Luis Pena. Who do you think he should fight next? Next up, we saw Tracy Cortez get the split decision victory over Justine Kish. And I don't know why it was a split decision. I actually thought this was a pretty clear victory. Cortez is a wrestler first, and she was able to employ that game plan, take her down with some serious ground and pound when she got the dominant position. Also had some some submission attempts as well. Justine Kish has the submission attempts that she used to get up. She was better on the feet, but wasn't on the feet long enough. Who would you like to see Tracy Cortez fight next? I think she might have something there. Only one loss, got a good team. She might be one to watch. I believe it's the flyweight division. Yeah, who do you like to see Cortez fight next? Next up, I did not see this fight, but I know I got the pick of Jacob McClown beating Abdul Al-Hassan. I did not see this fight because I was watching the Frank Mir fight, because the events actually happened at the same time, and I was watching the Frank Mir fight. And again, I actually did this video yesterday fairly early. So after it was done, I just didn't take the time to go ahead and watch the fight. I just haven't watched it yet. I apologize for that. Let me know how the fight went. Do you agree it was a unanimous decision? And who do you think Jacob McClown should fight next? Next up, I did see this. This is the co-main event. We saw Arlovski win a unanimous decision against Chase Sherman. I completely agree. This was a good fight. At 42 years old, he has to fight differently. He cannot weigh on his athletic ability as much anymore, and we're seeing that here. Still very willing to brawl, which is why it was exciting, but he doesn't stay in that brawl as long. When he gets clocked, he moves out. He goes out. He goes for a takedown. He hides his head. He tells the ref that he got hit in the groin when he didn't, just so he could break up the momentum. We saw a lot of those veteran tricks here in this fight, and I really appreciate that. At one point at the end of the fight, he had Chase so frustrated that he was like, come on, fight my man. And I was like, hey, bro, go get him. You can't stand here and let me hit you in the face. No, go get him. So great win for Andre Arlovski, who is still here. Who would you like to see him fight next? In his post-interview, he was asked about the Jake Paul fight, and he said, my fight was better. Now, on to the main event, and we saw Robert Whitaker, Mr. Bobby Knuckles, get a dominant victory over Kelvin Gastelum, who's always super hard to put away. Great chin with that Mexican chin. Anybody else would have gotten finished in this fight, because Bobby Knuckles whooped his behind. He beat him up. He won all 5 rounds. Of course, Kelvin was in it the whole time with that one-punch knockout power. And again, even when you hit Kelvin in the face, he's going to still keep moving forward. So they actually both drew blood. You could see the fight on both of them, although Kelvin was wearing it a lot more. Bobby Knuckles landed an incredible kick to the face, which probably would have ended many of people in that early in that fight, but it did not end. Kelvin, who wrestled way too late. He didn't start wrestling until like the end of the 4th round. I don't know why he didn't incorporate the wrestling more to make Bobby Knuckles hesitate, to make him think more, to make him change up his game plan. Instead, you let him get comfortable, and he tagged you up. The whole fight, he was clearly faster than you, had more diversity in his striking, and he even took you down by the end of the fight more than once, and had some nice ground and pound. He showed some improvement. And yeah, it's just a great win for Bobby Knuckles. Afterwards, he said there's no other fight for him except for the champ, and I think I agree. You make a case for somebody else. Marvin Vettori said that he should fight Bobby Knuckles, and then the winner of that should get Israel Adesanya. I don't think I agree with that. As Bobby Knuckles said, dude, you just beat the number 10 guy. Had you beat Darren Till, maybe, but you haven't beat anyone in the top 5, and that's true. So I actually agree with Bobby Knuckles. Marvin, you're going to have to fight somebody else first before you get your title shot or a shot at someone else. Paulo Costa had to pull out of this fight. Maybe you can get him. So who do you think Bobby Knuckles should fight next? I agree. Ever since he lost the belt, I wanted to see him fight Izzy again, because him coming off of that long layoff and the injuries and having some ring rust, not to take anything away from Izzy, but I was like, if Bobby can get back to where he was, I want to see that fight again with him at full capacity, not coming off of a long layover, injuries, with a little bit of ring rust. Okay, that's it. So I want to see him fight Izzy again at full capacity, which I think he is. So you let me know who he should fight next. If not Izzy, if Izzy, why? And they asked Bobby Knuckles at the post-interview as well about Jake Paul. They said, would you fight Jake Paul for $500,000? Oh yeah, Ben Askren got $500,000 for that, by the way. Would you fight him for $500,000? And Bobby Knuckles said, I'd fight him for less. Of course, easy work. I have a kickboxing base, right? So yeah, that's that. Whew, hopefully this video wasn't too long, and thank you for bearing with it. If you have watched this whole video, please subscribe, please like the video, please share the videos. And to those of you who've been watching me for all these years, I truly do appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I was really frustrated by not getting this one out in time and not being part of the mix. So if you're watching this one particularly, thank you. For real, thank you. So follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I will be joining TikTok soon. I'll let you know when that happens. That's where you get all of my last minute picks, of which I normally get right. So you got to follow me everywhere. Subscribe, like. This is kind of a hard video for me to get through this time. So again, thank you. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care. Goodbye.